much for attending our Meet the Candidates Forum here at the Burley Public Library. We are thrilled to see you and hope that there's some really wonderful exchange of conversation and ideas that we'll hear tonight. Jerry, I don't need it. I have a speaker. Yeah, the whole town will hear what I say. I just wanted to go over the forum guidelines with you so that everyone would have an understanding of how we'll run tonight. We'll have timing, which each candidate will have this exact same time period in which to answer a question. The candidates will answer in alphabetical order. When it comes time to answer the question, Casey Anderson will begin, and everyone will have a turn and have up to 2 minutes to answer that question. The next question, Don Dean will begin, and then come back around to Casey, and in that fashion, so that everyone has an opportunity to begin. And again, they'll have up to 2 minutes each for their answer. We'll begin tonight, as soon as I introduce who all is helping us here, with a 5-minute introduction from our candidates, where they will get to introduce themselves to you and just give you some of their background. We do have timers here. Looks like we have one timer. Becky Smith has been kind enough to come and help us out with that. Gentlemen, you see the clock on the wall, the timer. It is set at 5 minutes, and it will count down. Just to give you a little bit of warning, because I don't know, I obviously can get carried away and talk all day, but our timer will hold up a yellow flag letting you know there are 30 seconds left, so that you don't have to address the clock during your whole presentation of 2 minutes. And then she will hold up her red when your time is up. Let's see, Dr. Tremaine has come prepared with some questions of his own in case we didn't have enough from our audience. If you have a question that you've been working on, we have 2 high school students, Sherry Preston and Heather Carlquist, who have been kind enough to come and gather those for us. If time allows after the written question period, Dr. Tremaine wanted to allow for an open mic period. And so that might be another time for you to have an opportunity to ask a question. And we talked about the intros, that each candidate will have up to 5 minutes, and you don't have to take it all, but you're welcome to take the whole 5 minutes if you'd like. Each of the candidates have come prepared for one question that they've known about for a little while, and that is, what do you think is the biggest issue facing the city of Burley? That's just so you know that they all had that ahead of time so that they were able to be prepared. And Dr. Tremaine will ask them that after the introduction time. One really important thing is if everyone would please hold your applause until each candidate has had the chance to answer each question. So you can applaud after each question, but only after each candidate has had the time to answer, and that will hopefully we'll have the best forum in that way. I need to introduce both Dr. Tremaine and Joe Colflesh to you. Dr. Tremaine is kind enough to agree to come and moderate 2 different forums for us tonight and next week's mayoral forum. Dr. Tremaine is an associate professor of history at the College of Southern Idaho, and he wanted me to mention that he is a 1974 Minico grad, and he thought that might not be met favorably here, but we can appreciate Dr. Tremaine and his willingness to come. He wanted us to know that he is a homeboy, even though maybe a little bit farther away than right downtown. And Joe Colflesh, again, has been kind enough to come and help us. He will be sorting the questions. We didn't want to have duplications or anything of that sort, and so we have Joe to help us out there. So, our candidates tonight, you can read their name badges, but we're so grateful that you each were willing to come. That is probably, maybe a cushy seat would have been a little more comfortable for you, because that probably feels like you're in the spotlight. Of course you are, because we're so grateful that you're come to share your ideas with us. Casey Anderson, Don Dean, Dennis Dexter, Randy Goulet, Gordy Hansen, and Steve McGill. And man, thank you so much. I really appreciate you for coming and being willing to do this for us. Giving the community a great opportunity to hear more about your ideas. So we'll turn the time to Dr. Tremaine.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am from across the river, but I just work down the road here on Main Street, United Oil Company. There are 2 of your community's finest citizens have joined us, my mother and father here, Alton and Donna Tremaine, and I'd like to acknowledge them. Thank you, Mr. Colflesh. See, now I need to be authoritarian. I was invited here for a couple of reasons. Don't worry about me on that there, sir. I can handle this microphone. There's great to do in the land about public meetings over politics. And I believe in civic discourse, and I will insist on civic discourse. And I admire the gentleman here for running. And more importantly, I appreciate you all coming out. I thought democracy was dead, but apparently it's not. I thought there might just be a few folks. So what I oftentimes host at College of Southern Idaho, a Meet the Candidates Forum, and that's how I'm going to treat it. We're here to meet these gentlemen and see what they know and what they might offer in terms of leadership for the city at a critical time. And I won't take any more of their time. Mr. Anderson, be interested in hearing for 5 minutes about your person, why you're running, about your past. I'd say to all of the candidates, I don't want the time to become a burden. I'd like to have a free-flowing discussion between yourselves and with the crowd and with the questions. And if you're done speaking and you still have 2 minutes left, then let's move on. Of course, once the time's expired, then I'll have to be rude and blunt